met Marcos Garza when we were doing radiothons for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. We needed sponsors to help us raise money, and he's always the first one to jump in. I would describe Marcos and his team as upstanding, someone you can trust, and he is just a genuine guy.
Marcos has been very generous. He has a genuine concern for people. You need somebody that cares about you. And that's what Marcos is, and that's pretty much what this firm is.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Is Richmond Raceway America's longest short track, or is its shortest super speedway? Either way you look at it, Richmond embodies the characteristics of both and is a rocket-fast challenge to every driver who competes on the three-quarter-mile oval. Racers from the Craftsman Truck Series, Xfinity Series, and the NASCAR Cup Series find that Richmond requires both power and handling. To win here, you've got to have it all. Richmond Raceway started out as a half-mile dirt track on the Richmond Fairgrounds, first hosting races in 1953 under the name Strawberry Hill Speedway. 68 years and 4 track configurations later, there's 51,000 plus grandstand seats, 40 luxury suites, and since 1991, many events have been held in the evening under the lights. Tonight, it's the Garza Law Firm Richmond 125. It's next on HBR TV. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the virtual Richmond Raceway for tonight's Garza Law Firm Richmond 125 Holographics Truck Series. Look at the race details. 125 laps tonight, 78-degree ambient temperature, 56% humidity. Clear skies, barely any breeze at 2 miles per hour, 81-degree track temperatures. Practice just about wrapped up here from the Speedway. Let's go down trackside and see where everybody is lined out in the timing tower. Right now the fastest is the 00 of James Ray. Looking for a better week this week compared to last. Had a good run going to start last week, but it went south awfully quick. Starting off nicely here at this point. 2 minutes to go in the session. A 21.99 for Ray, the only driver below the 22-second barrier. Mitchell Howell runs in that second spot. Brett Guzik, Chris Watkins, and Drew Blaze rounding out the top 5. Mitchell Howell second fast in the session, about 0.6. Not quite, but just about 0.6 slower than Ray in the second spot. Pretty tight times here in the top 5 for sure. About a 1/10 between the top 5. Guzik still with the Battleship Gray 04. I don't know what it is about that paint scheme. He needs some stickers on there. He's a fast guy. He wins some races in the hunt for a title here, and he's got no sponsors. Got that S4 guy in the chat already. He says, I love this place. Those that you don't know who that S4 guy is, first of all, remove the rock you've been living under. Second of all, it's Zach Millett. HBR TV driver out of the Noble Racing Series and others. Practice just about over. We'll see the black and red flag here on the session get right into qualifying. Looks like James Ray is going to win the practice session. Looks like Chris Klein, the first driver to roll. Number 51 Beaver Direct Toyota Tundra TRD Pro. Derek Welch in the stream chat. I hate this place. You know, it's a love-hate relationship for me. Again, I don't do a whole lot of racing anymore, but this place was definitely a challenge initially for me as Klein goes at 22-27. But after a while, you just kind of start to figure it out, and that's kind of how it went for me. I wouldn't say I'm lights out fast here, but in like company, I was usually a top 5 driver. At least here. Maybe top 20 elsewhere, but just about anywhere you can use the brakes to your advantage was a helpful hand for me. As Chris Klein goes as 22-26. Slight improvement, puts him P3 as Winker now. Fastest on the board for now. Brett Guzik down the backstretch. First lap at 22.91. He's 9th fast. Back across the line, Guzik, does he improve? Oh yeah, big time, 22.149 for the 04, puts it on top of the board. PJ Cox in the 05, 22.597 the first lap. Oh, a little bit of John going on in the stream chat. 22.51 for PJ Cox, sits just outside the top 10. Brian Shepard in the 88, 22.84, real loose. Exited turn 2, that's going to kill his second lap. Shepard improved anyway. He must have had a really good lap in store if he didn't have that problem off of 2. He's 9th quick with a 22.30. Derek Welch exiting pit lane here on his out lap. We'll see the green flag the next time by. James Ray, top of the board now with a 22 flat, just a smidgen slower than his practice lap. Ran at 21.99 in practice was the 00 of James Ray. Derek Welch out of turn 2 on his first lap. .392, 11th quick for DW. See if Derek can get it into the top 10 here. Place that he's not a fan of, but let's see if he can get around and jump it into that top 10 starting position at the stripe. Where does old DW land? 4th quick, 22.16. Big improvement for the 1. Mitchell Howell, a 22.49, sits 14th on his opening lap. I don't know if anybody's got anything for James Ray. That's a big time they put up on the board. 22 flat, 10th and a half faster. Oh, but Howell knocks him off the point. Just as I say that, he makes me a liar. Howell goes to the pole, 21.96. Big time lap. That was even faster than what we saw in the practice session. Howell not messing around here at Richmond. Watkins across the stripe on lap 2. 3rd fast. Good lap for him as well, 22.11. Sean Roberts out of Albertus, PA. Second lap for Roberts is also faster at a 22:32, a minor improvement. It's 14th. Brent Morrow has not taken a time as of yet. Jarrett Woodard took a lap and a quarter, but qualifying is over to this point. So that's going to do it. Mitchell Howell on the pole. Big time lap here in the qualifying session. Put everybody else to shame. Well, let's take a look here at our starting grid for tonight's Garza Law Firm Richmond 125. On the pole position with a lap time of 21.964 seconds. It's the 93 of Mitchell Howell. Outside front row, missed it by 39 thousandths of a second. It's the 00 of James Ray. Row number 2, it's Chris Watkins and Brett Guzik. Row 3, Kevin Winker, Derek Welch. Row 4, it's Brandon Domain and Drew Blaze. Row 5, Tristan Sykes in the number 99 with Heath Snyder to his right elbow. Starting in the 11th spot, it's Chris Klein. 12th goes to Brian Shepard. 13th starter is Justin Johnson in the 10. Probably going to be an X on the door of that machine. Sean Roberts starting in the 14th spot, the number 66. Randy Coaching starts 15th. Jared Haynes, the number 89, will roll from the 16th starting position. PJ Cox, the 05, will start 17th. Jarrett Woodard out of Canada, 18th. And Brant Morrow did not take time in qualifying. He'll start shotgun on the field in the 19th starting position. It's your starting grid for the Garza Law Firm Richmond 125 Howell Graphics Truck Series. Fields is starting to grid up as we speak. Should be 2 pace laps before we go green flag racing. So there the field sits. Just waiting for 1 or 2 more drivers to jump in the truck here within the prescribed amount of time. Usually a couple of minutes, at least to get everybody gridded up would be the maximum. Sometimes we see LSR go a little bit longer on that just to make sure they give everybody enough time to get buckled in, window net secure, all of the good stuff. One more time around here before we take the green flag here from Richmond Raceway. Two good-looking trucks here at the front of the field, Mitchell Howell and James Ray both. Then you got the 5 there, Chris Watkins. He's got his Halloween paint scheme going, and oh, there's Brett. It just pains me that he is so fast and he's out there in a primer gray truck. It's like the old days of preseason Daytona testing. You'd see him roll out there maybe with one sponsor logo on the hood and the rest of the truck just primer. Them were the days. Got Shauna Rita in here, says, let's go 42 with Winker Nation. As the pace car pulls off. Green flag in the air. We're racing from Richmond. James Ray quickly out in front. Didn't take long, pretty much the drop of the green flag. Good jump by the 00 of James Ray. Gets around Howell right off the bat. Move Howell back to the second spot. Ray maintains the lead. Mitchell Howell, though, was under attack there, it seemed, for a moment from Brett Guzik. Brett said it last week. Certainly looking forward to the short track here at Richmond Raceway. Things pretty tame here in the opening laps here at Richmond. Drivers getting lined out single file very quickly. Check on Drew Blaze here back in the 6th spot behind Derek Welch. Remember, Derek doesn't like this place, but qualified well into the top 10. Already up one position, driving now in the top 5. Pressure coming from behind, though. Drew Blaze looking to the inside. Blaze goes to the inside on Derek Welch here, this for the 5th position. Takes it away. Crossover maybe from Welch. Nope, just stays tucked in. Blaze now up 3 spots into the 5th position. Welch stays in the 6th spot where he started. Still a solid run to this point. Kevin Winker up into P7, number 42. Looks to be a new paint scheme on that machine this week. Winker now looking to the inside to Derek Welch. So Winker now into P6. Brandon Domain has also gotten around Derek Welch. He's in 7th. Welch now down 2 spots from the start of this race. Battle for position as Tristan Sykes goes around the 88 of Brian Shepard, at least is alongside for the time being. Crossover move coming from Tristan. Went top to bottom. Back in behind. Shepard starting to stretch it out. Unsure really. Maybe Shepard was the one that was putting the pressure on there for the spot. So Brian now up into the 9th position. Tristan Sykes running 10th. Meanwhile, back out front, James Ray still with the race lead over Mitchell Howell. It's extended it now to just over a full second as we're 14 laps in. I want to remind everybody here, 45% fuel capacity here tonight, so that's going to trigger some earlier pit stops than we would usually see. Also, 3 sets of tires available for these drivers over the wall. Somewhat generous, if you ask me. Usually 2 sets over the wall should be plenty if the guys can manage them properly. But then again, it is a short track. Drivers tend to be a little aggressive, and sometimes they do wear out their stuff a little sooner than they had planned. So little safety net here with the extra set over the wall. So 4 sets of tires officially over for all of these drivers here. You got 3 over the wall, 1 on the truck, so 4 to work with throughout the 125 laps here tonight. Randy Coaching and Justin Johnson. Coaching just behind Jared Haynes, the number 89. PJ Cox running there in the 14th spot ahead of Jared. Watching this battle with Sean Roberts and Brent Morrow. This will be for the 12th position. Roberts currently has it. Remember, Morrow did not qualify, started 19th. He's already up 6 spots. Watching the 71 right now, he does appear to be a tick faster than Sean Roberts. Just needs to find a way to get around. Roberts gets a piece of the wall there on entry. Not a lot, but enough. Breaks the momentum just slightly. Not enough for Morrow to really capitalize. "20 laps in here from Richmond Raceway. James Ray still your race leader. Mitchell Howell, Brett Guzik, Chris Watkins, Drew Blaze, the top 5. We continue to watch this battle just outside the top 10 with Sean Roberts and Brent Morrow. Got Brandon Noah also in the stream chat cheering for, you guessed it, Kevin Winker. Morrow all over the back bumper of Sean Roberts here. If I'm the 66, especially with getting in the wall last couple of laps here, I'm just going to let him go. Save your stuff for a little bit. Morrow's going to use the bumper here in a minute if you're not careful. So, Sean Roberts, I don't know if you got the broadcast on, but let him go, buddy. Let him go. Of course, there's like a 30-second delay, so it's going to be about 2 laps before he even hears it. Morrow diving it down to the bottom, drives it way deep, a little bit of contact, has to check up hard to avoid wrecking the 66. Morrow almost threw his race away just on that alone. Roberts now with a little bit more breathing room as PJ Cox tries to take advantage of that mistake out of the 71. Got to show some patience here. It is very early here at Richmond Raceway. PJ Cox was very patient, just sat around and waited for something to happen, and he takes advantage and gets a spot, but a little wiggle out of the 05 on corner exit of 4. I tell you, that is a very difficult portion of the racetrack. I know we're only talking 3/4 of a mile, but it's very tough to get the power down on exit there because, yes, you got some wheel into it trying to get through 3 and 4 there, but because it's not really a straightaway, it's effectively a tri-oval. You never really stop turning the wheel. So if you hammer down on the throttle a little harder than you really want to or should, just because you want to get going, you do have a strong tendency to break those rear tires loose. And all of a sudden, before you know it, that truck is around. Almost happened to PJ Cox there. He was able to gather it up. But if you do that enough times, you overheat those rear tires, and then it just becomes more and more susceptible to happening every lap. Hard to cool your tires down in a place like Richmond Raceway without shedding a ton of lap time. PJ Cox now closing in on Sean Roberts. 66 going to have to defend a different driver here, and we'll see what happens with Brant Morrow. Way heated up his stuff trying to avoid contact / avoid wrecking. Give him some more time. If he can get those tires cooled off, I'm sure he's going to be a threat. But PJ's real loose out of turn 2. Again, you see the tire marks he left in the track on exit. Can spin in those rear tires. Meanwhile, Randy Coaching hits pit lane. Some pretty significant damage on the number 19. Not sure exactly what happened there with the 19. Randy Coaching. 32 laps in. I mean, if I'm him, I would even take tires at this point. You've got the sets to use them. Right side goes in the air, so a tire change for sure. Didn't use the fast repair, though. I find that interesting. That truck's pretty banged up. And Randy's going to sit there for a little bit, trying to get some of those repairs affected. Might be there for just a bit, and he disappears. Might be out of this one. Randy Coaching calling it a night, it seems. Meanwhile, James Ray still out in front. Knocking on the door of 3 seconds of an advantage over the full 04 of Brett Guzik as he's taking the second spot from Mitchell Howell. Back to Sean Roberts, PJ Cox, and Brant Morrow. This 3-truck battle continues. No change of position just yet. PJ Cox, though, trying to find a solution to this, trying to find a way around the 66. Chris Watkins working with Drew Blaze here for position. Blaze is up into that 4 spot, but Watkins trying to hang on to it. Brandon Domain looked like he was thinking about trying to follow Drew Blaze through there, but didn't have the pace to stay on the tailgate of the 1. .40 laps in here from Richmond Raceway. Still no scheduled pit stops. Man, I got to imagine we're going to start seeing them soon. Again, a 45% fuel capacity with these trucks here tonight. 3 sets of tires over the wall. I think tires won't be an issue here tonight at all. We've got run 41 laps under the green flag here. With 3 sets over the wall, they can change them out just about every 30 if they so choose. Kevin Winker still running back in the 7th spot now. Chris Watkins, though, going to make a trip down pit lane. Will he be the first to make his first scheduled stop? I believe this is the scheduled pit stop for the 5 of Watkins. Watkins in a pit box, right sides go in the air, so new tires on the rights. Can only imagine we're going to get 4 tires in Sunoco Racing fuel out of this. And yes, indeed, that is the game plan for the 5 of Chris Watkins. Many other drivers heading down pit lane, race leader James Ray being one of them. Mitchell Howell as well, Brett Guzik, Drew Blaze, PJ Cox, Brant Morrow, now Kevin Winker, Derek Welch. Brandon Domain, your current race leader. James Ray finishing up his 4-tire change. He is down and away. Mitchell Howell going to do the same. Drops the jack down, he runs. So Brandon Domain from the race lead, he hits pit road. He's going to give up that race lead here in just a moment, but Chris Klein, the second place machine, he's going to come down pit road with him. So for the time being, Domain's going to maintain the top spot, well, only for a moment as Heath Snyder takes over the race lead. So Brandon Domain finishes up his pit work. He comes back out in P6. James Ray is going to retake the top spot after the pit cycle. Had a pretty good lead to begin with, 3 seconds plus to spare when he made his pit stop. Executed the in and out, plus the stop itself effectively without problems. Brett Guzik back to second. Mitchell Howell, Chris Watkins, Drew Blaze, the top 5. Nothing really changing up front. 47 laps in here from Richmond Raceway. First round of green flag stops complete in the books. No issues for anybody. We're going to step aside, get an HBR TV side-by-side break out of the way, and we'll be back after this.
I met Marco Scarza when we were doing radiothons for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. We needed sponsors to help us raise money, and he's always the first one to jump in. I would describe Marcos and his team as upstanding, someone you can trust, and he is just a genuine guy.
Marcos has been very generous. He has a genuine concern for people. You need somebody that cares about you. And that's what Marcos is, and that's pretty much what this firm is.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Richmond Raceway under our first caution of the night. We think it was for Brian Shepard here trying to get to pit road. Take a look at the tail of the tape here and see exactly what happened here with the 88. And that was it. He was at least spun out in front of pit road. We'll back it up a little further here. Hopefully we can get an idea of how it went down. Did he have help or was it on his own? Ooh, definitely contact with another truck. It looks like Sean Roberts. Shepard had a run. Oh, and Sean just checked up a little sooner than I think Brian expected. Roberts kind of drifts it through the corner. Shepard comes to a stop just before the entrance to pit road, has to get back up into traffic, and I think that's what triggered our caution. So first yellow of the night here at Richmond Raceway. Mitchell Howell out in front here. James Ray now back to the 14th position. Not sure the situation there. Looks like he may have hit pit lane again here at lap 55. Sorry, 53 that is. Or did he? I'm not really sure the scenario there. I don't think there's a reason for him to come down. Everybody just finished up their green flag stops as it was. Brian Shepard's going to come down pit lane anyway here, maybe to top off fuel. Might even change tires. We'll see. Again, I think everybody took that first set. There's not really any strategy here tonight to take care of him. However, Brett Guzik, well, his second stop too, so it's tough to say. Last time Brett came down, it was a 5-second stop, so no tires there. I can just assume that that first pit stop he did. Brian Shepard top off the tanks, maybe some repairs, maybe not. Truck looks pretty good. So Mitchell Howell now your race leader in that pink and black attack, number 93. So as you can see, the lights on the pace car are indeed out, so we should be going green flag racing in about a half a lap the next time by.
Ready, green flag.
Howell leads him down into turn number 1. Had a great jump on the restart. It's going to put Chris Watkins and Drew Blades battling for the second spot. And we got a spin here again. Sean Roberts, I think, involved in this one. Yes. And Jarrett Woodard, the 79. Both drivers down into turn 1 on the restart in trouble. I don't know if Heath Snyder had a piece of this one as well. Let's try and get a look at it here in just a moment. In fact, we got it pulled up. Let's see here. We'll slow it down here. Quarter speed, Sean Roberts in that white, black, and red number 66. Brett Guzik to his outside. Roberts drives it in pretty deep here and starts to lose the rear end of the truck. Comes down, hits James Ray. Just sends Ray down to the apron a little bit, but it shoots the 66 up the track into Guzik right in front of Brian Shepard. Ironically, the same two trucks that were involved in the last caution. 88 of Shepard gets through this time without a problem. 89 comes in and turns Heath Snyder, and then Jarrett Woodard with no place to go gets into the driver's door of Sean Roberts. So, second caution of the night, as we've said a million times. Cautions breed cautions. That truly is the scenario here at Richmond Raceway right now. Is that issue coming out? Turn 1, lap 1 of the restart. Mitchell Howell's still going to have the race lead here. We may get the one to go this time, possibly two. We'll see here if the lights go out. And they stay lit. So another time by, we should get the one to go next trip around. Top five is going to be Howell, Blaze, Domain, Winker, and Klein. Then P6, Brent Morrow, Tristan Sykes up to 7th, PJ Cox 8th, James Ray 9th, and 10th, Jared Haynes. So even under yellow, they go by pretty quick, less than a minute. And this time, the lights are out on the iRacing pace car, so we should be going racing the next time by. Lap 64 for the restart. Puts us just past halfway. So Howell's going to have Blaze to the outside. Green flag is in the air. We're back racing once again. Howell with another good restart. Howell did inch up to that middle lane prior to the start finish. I don't know if the race admins are going to take a look at that or not. Meanwhile, back in second, Drew Blaze, Brandon Domain battling in fourth position. A little loose on corner exit for the one of Drew Blaze. Domain still to the inside through 3 and 4. Spot, Brent Morrow on the outside, Chris Klein trying to take advantage on the bottom, and Sean Roberts loose in the corner again, and we got another yellow. Sean Roberts, Mr. Caution flag here tonight. Third one tonight. He's been involved in all 3 of them. That's uncharacteristic of the 66. Let's check it again here. Middle of turns 1 and 2. Just around he goes. Looks like everybody avoided him. Handling going away on the 66, apparently. So under the yellow flag once again. We said it before, cautions breed cautions, and we continue to get them here. This is our second one after our first restart. We're going to jump out here, get a quick break out of the way, and be back with the restart after this.
I met Marcos Garza when we were doing radiothons for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. We needed sponsors to help us raise money, and he's always the first one to jump in. I would describe Marcos and his team as upstanding, someone you can trust, and he is just a genuine guy.
Marcos has been very generous. He has a genuine concern for people. You need somebody that cares about you. And that's what Marcos is, and that's pretty much what this firm is.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
flag, green flag.
Back to Richmond, green flag back in the air. Mitchell Howell, another good jump. Brandon Domain running second. James Ray very quickly up into the third spot. Howell running away with it. Again, not a huge advantage, but man, he looks super strong here tonight. Want to see how James Ray, if he gets back up there to contend for that top spot, can handle the 93. On the initial start, he got right down there and took the race lead away, right down into turn number 1. Not sure what put him back in the pack, but he's worked his way back into the third position behind Brandon Domain. Now taking a look to the inside. James Ray takes over to second spot. He's got a little bit of work to do to reel in the 93 of Howell. 3/4 of a second, the gap up to the race lead. Blaze has slipped back to the 9th spot. Remember, he was a contender up in the top 5 there for a little while. Again, to no one's surprise, Drew's probably just taking care of his stuff. Again, you don't need to be super conservative here tonight. The tire life being what it is versus the tires available to these drivers, plus the cautions that we have had recently, letting laps just tick by under yellow. It's, well, giving these guys more opportunity to have fresher tires throughout the rest of this race. These drivers are scraping the right side of the truck here on the outside wall, getting down into turn number 1. Might be by design, just trying to straighten that corner out the best that you can. Brett Guzik in the 4th spot where he started. Brandon Domain, though, having a strong run as well. He's 3rd, up 4 positions. We got a battle for the race lead here. That did not take long at all as James Ray reeled in Mitchell Howell. He's making a move here. Howell's battling back on the outside. Can he get the power down? Still side by side here at start finish. Ray's going to have the pass complete here, I think, in 1 and 2. Move the 0-0 back to the lead. So new leader here at Richmond Raceway, lap 83. It's James Ray taking it from Mitchell Howell. Brandon Domain running 3rd, Brett Guzik 4th. 5th is the 5 of Chris Watkins and Brent Morrow. I say both because they're fighting for that spot. Watkins takes it back. Morrow is still on the attack. Drew Blaze is right there as well. I think that might be what's pushing the 71 to try and take over that position, knowing that Blaze has got some pace. He doesn't want to worry about having to fight the 1. He just wants to take the position from the 5. Well, Drew Blaze had an issue just a moment ago, but both him and the 71 have lost a lot of ground on the 5. Blaze has taken the spot from Morrow, though, so he's up a position. See if he can run away. Derek Welch and Jared Haynes battling it out here for the 11th position. Derek started in the 6th position, now back in 12th. Welch takes the spot away. Derek up in the 11th spot. Haynes right on the back bumper, might mount a charge to take it back, but he doesn't have the run down into turn 3. A couple car lengths, well, a truck length and a half between the 1 and the 89. Sean Roberts, through all his struggles, he stayed on the lead lap here, and he's battling for position still. This would be for the 12th position with Jared Haynes now. The 66 was down low through 1 and 2. It down low again, tries to keep it pinned on the bottom, slides up slightly, gets the power back down, a little bit better exit, pulls it hard left to the inside. That seemed a little too aggressive there, might have scrubbed a little bit of speed off the 66. Still alongside through 1 and 2. Haynes going to try and battle back on the outside, still side by side, and it's opened the door for Justin Johnson to come into the picture. And Sean Roberts has got some trouble here. He's going to dive into pit lane here. I don't know why he was fighting so hard for that position if he was just going to pit in the next lap. Either way, here he comes down pit road. Sean Roberts coming to the attention of his crew along with Brant Morrow. He's also in the pits. Looks like Roberts going to take 4 tires and fuel. And I just got to wonder if he's going to be good to go to the end. I think this should get him to the end. Morrow finishing up his pit work. He's down and away. Checking on the race leader here, James Ray. About a second, a little bit shy of a full second ahead of the 93 of Mitchell Howell. Brett Guzik third now. Domain fourth, and the 5 of Chris Watkins is fifth. Ray's pit stop coming last at lap 53. That was for, it appears to be fuel and tires, just looking at the pit stop time, but he was gently involved in a previous incident, so there could have been some repair work being done there as well. So unable to truly confirm if he's on a fresh set of tires from that stop or not, but nonetheless, even if it was fuel only, lap 53 to now 95. Granted, we did have some cautions in there to extend that fuel run. I would expect to see the 00 at least hit pit lane here shortly, as Mitchell Howell is on pit road. So is Brandon Domain, Tristan Sykes, Justin Johnson, Jared Haynes, PJ Cox. Howell stops a little bit short in the pit box, has to let off the brake and roll forward to make sure he's fully in that pit box. Is it right sides only for Mitchell Howell? We'll see how that pays off. Some strategy at play here for the 93 of Mitchell Howell. James Ray stays out on the racetrack, so right now the top 9 are the only trucks on the lead lap, but Drew Blaze likely to go down a lap as he is in the pits as well. Blaze out of pit road here. He's going to be down a lap. Mitchell Howell. Heath Snyder going to hit pit road. Now, here's the thing I wanted to notice. Drew Blaze, did he take 2? Yeah, Blaze took 2 tires as well. Let's see where he comes out here with Mitchell Howell. Howell came into pit road ahead of the one. The one of Drew Blaze comes out ahead of the 93. Both drivers taking right sides only. We talked about Howell having to stop short in the pits there for just a brief moment and had to roll it forward to fully get into his pit stall. There's the time lost and where Drew Blaze was able to make it up. And Howell putting the pressure onto the Drew Blaze machine here out of turn number 2. Keeps taking a peek to the inside. James Ray finally pulls off the racetrack, hits pit road as Brett Guzik takes over the top spot. 24 laps to go here from Richmond Raceway. This race getting done in a hurry here. We didn't expect that here at Richmond. 125 lap race, but being a short track, we've had a handful of cautions, not even, really just 3. A lot of times on these short tracks, you tend to have a lot of issues. I will say, though, in this particular league, Lonestar Racing, Howell Graphics Truck Series, drivers have been very clean. We really haven't had a brash of cautions in any of the races. Some even going green to checker without any yellows. Here with 22 laps to go, only a few to speak of. And if it weren't for Sean Roberts, we might not have had any. Yeah, I gotta pick on him. It's just the rules. Meanwhile, Brett Guzik still out in front. 10.87 seconds over Derek Welch. Now, Guzik has not made a pit stop since lap 60. So I'm curious what the plan's going to be for Guzik here when the opportunity presents itself to pit. Does he take 4 tires? He's got an 11.5 second on second place. He's got the extra time. I'm thinking you might as well, especially knowing that some of these guys out there opted for just 2 tires. If I'm Brett Guzik, Derek Welch, Chris Klein, Kevin Winker, all 4 of those guys who are, by the way, on a lap of their own right now with 19 to go. Yes, they do need to make one final pit stop, but hell, you might as well take 4. And the other side of this, though, if the caution comes out, you're going to trap most of those guys a lap down with the exception of the one of Drew Blaze. Blaze in the free pass position. The lucky dog, as it were. Listening to some of these drivers really start to save fuel as Guzik hits pit road. Let's see what the 04 does here. Again, I'm banking on 4 tires. Maybe he stays with everybody else's strategy, but I don't know. Knowing what I know, if I was in the race truck at this point, I'd be taking 4. So, you know what, let's do this. Let's take full advantage. 4 tires and fuel. Go out there and hammer the snot out of those Goodyears until this one's over. We'll see. Definitely going to be right sides at a minimum. Or is it? Guzik going fuel only. Did not expect to see this. Guzik down and away. 17 laps to go. Welch now takes over the top spot. Oh, real loose on exit. I don't know if Guzik's going to get dinged for the commitment cone or not. Or the blend line, that is. Let's pay attention to that. See if he gets popped for going a little bit wide on exit. Yeah, Derek Welch is saving fuel big time. Let's ride on board with the 0-1 of Derek Welch. Yeah, you hear that? Clutch is in, letting the truck coast into the corner. You watch the tachometer just inside the wheel there. The big gauge in the center is going to drop. Yep, he's coming to pit road. Thanks, Derek. So Derek Welch comes to pit road. Let's see what the 01 does, knowing, well, I don't know if he knows it or not, but Brett Guzik only taking fuel and no tires. 14 laps to go. Chris Klein takes over the top spot. So you watch Derek Welch roll down pit road here into his pit stall. Real slow entry into the box. And it's going to be fuel only for Derek as well. Stays on the ground. Stays on the ground for 11.42 seconds. I would at least thrown rights on given the amount of time he had to take for fuel. Long stop for the one. So Chris Klein out on the racetrack as your race leader now. 3.5 seconds ahead of Kevin Winker as Justin Johnson's trying to take his lap back. Out of the racetrack here, coming down the back straightaway here. Might be 10 laps to go when he gets back to the start-finish line. If he stays out of the track, doesn't pit. His last stop coming at lap 69. I don't see him making it all the way to the finish. James Ray now, your second place truck. He has pitted. He should be good to go to the finish without issue. Kevin Winker running in the third spot. Drew Blaze now back up to fourth. And Mitchell Howell, the number 93, running fifth. Chris Klein pulls it down pit lane with 10 laps to go. This is painful if you're the driver of that 51. Klein really wanted a caution there. Really would have helped his cause. Zach Millett in the chat. It ain't got no gas in it. So Klein's going fuel only as well as James Ray. Strong truck here tonight. Goes back to P1 with 8 laps to go. Drew Blaze running in the second spot. 2.7 seconds behind the race leader. Mitchell Howell now up to third, 2.9 seconds back. Which, with that said, it's going to put Howell right to the back bumper of Drew Blaze here. I don't know if he's going to have enough time, if he even gets by Drew Blaze, to reel in James Ray. And Ray has shown his ability here to make short work of Mitchell Howell when Howell was leading in both instances, not only on the start, but even on the restart. Didn't waste any time taking the top spot away from Howell. Howell was running back in second pretty quickly here. We'll see if he can get around Drew Blaze. As it stands right now, though, he's got to get around Blaze and Klein. Klein now to the outside. Big wiggle for Drew Blaze on corner exit of 2. Oh, we got somebody looking to the inside. 3 wide into turn number 3. Chris Watkins, Howell, and Klein. This 4 position, Watkins on the bottom, Klein not on the lead lap presently. He's 14th, first truck 1 lap down. 5 laps to go. This is some serious eye candy for Drew Blaze as he watches 3rd and 4th battling it out. Chris Watkins gets around Howell here for that position. So now the top 3, James Ray, Drew Blaze, Chris Watkins. Mitchell Howell fourth, Brandon Domain running back in fifth. Ray across the stripe here with 2 laps to go. Crossing his fingers here, hoping the caution does not come out in the next half lap. Just needs to make it back to start finish. White flag in the air, final lap for the 00 of James Ray. One lap truck in the mix, but with a 4-second advantage back to Drew Blaze. Ray doesn't have much to worry about. Checkered flag waving for James Ray. He is going to win the Garza Law Firm Richmond 125. Drew Blaze and Chris Watkins finishing second and third. Mitchell Howell fourth, Brandon Domain fifth. James Ray, the flying farmer himself. He's cheating a little, getting some of the marbles up on them tires to make it easier to spin them for the burnout. Ray parks it here at start finish. Parks it perfectly. Maybe he's not doing burnouts at all. Well, James Ray just parks it here at start finish. Doesn't light him up. We're going to step aside here, get a break out of the way, be back with our top 3 finishers in the broadcast booth. After this, stay with us. We'll be right back.
I met Marcos Garza when we were doing radiothons for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. We needed sponsors to help us raise money, and he's always the first one to jump in. I would describe Marcos and his team as upstanding, someone you can trust, and he is just a genuine guy.
Marcos has been very generous. He has a genuine concern for people. You need somebody that cares about you. And that's what Marcos is, and that's pretty much what this firm is.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
met Marco Scarza when we were doing radiothons for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. We needed sponsors to help us raise money, and he's always the first one to jump in. I would describe Marcos and his team as upstanding, someone you can trust, and he is just a genuine guy.
Marcos has been very generous. He has a genuine concern for people. You need somebody that cares about you. And that's what Marcos is, and that's pretty much what this firm is.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Back at Richmond Raceway, the Garza Law Firm, Richmond 125 in the books. James Ray, your race winner, followed by Drew Blaze and Chris Watkins. Let's see if we can pull the driver of the 00 of James Ray up into the HBR TV broadcast booth and get a word with our race winner. James, it's Steve with HBR TV. You got me?
Yes, sir.
James, congratulations, man. Missed that pole position with a surprise lap on a Mitchell Howell. That was quick. You still start outside front row, and it was only about turn 1 before you took the race lead, and then pretty dominant and pretty fast after that. What's the secret to this place? What makes you so quick here?
I've just learned to let it roll the bottom and try to save the right front. And if you can do that, it just seems to come around the corner a lot easier and less throttle, because you know you're going to get loose if you got too much wheel into it. So.
Yeah, I was mentioning in the broadcast that at first this place was not my favorite place to run, especially in the truck or even the ARCA car. But if you can start to learn to roll the center like you had mentioned, you can definitely be a lot faster. I certainly was nowhere near your pace tonight, but a job well done, a race win, so congratulations at that. Next week, we're not at Richmond. We roll into Pocono, and it couldn't be a more different style racetrack. It's the oval that races like a road course. How do you feel about your shot next week?
I've never been really good there just because there's so much momentum there. And, like, if you mess up a corner, you just fall back down the straightaway. So we're going to do some practice this week.
Yeah, especially in these trucks. They're very momentum-based. Not a whole lot of power out of the corner that you can rely on if you miss the entry a bit. But throw that practice in there. I expect to see you still with the top 5 next week. What do you think?
Well, we're going to give it all we got.
Well, James, congratulations again on the race win here tonight. Who do you want to thank before we let you get going?
Oh, my main shout out to Chris Watkins that does all these paints for me. He's been painting for me for almost like 8 years now, so I always got to give him a shout out.
We'll talk to Chris Watkins here in just a minute. He was in the top 3 as well. But James, again, thanks for talking to us, man, and good luck out at the Tricky Triangle next week.
Thank you, sir.
James Ray, your race winner here at Richmond. Next, we're going to talk to the 1 of Drew Blaze, pull him up into the broadcast booth, and get a word with our runner-up. Drew, it's Steve with HBR TV. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Drew, congratulations. A second place finish. Fuel only, I think it was, on that last stop. We saw some guys try to take right sides only. We thought some might actually gamble with 4. What was the mindset? What was the decision-making process to only take fuel there in that final pit stop?
It was just trying to, keep ahead of, I guess keep ahead of the time. Just try to make up any time you can. I think James took 2 there on the right, and it showed. He was pretty quick there at the end. So I don't know. I didn't feel like I had it figured out. Pretty much the whole race I was kind of winging it, and I wasn't really doing any strategy besides just hitting a few laps before the cautions, hitting a few laps before we run out to get the undercut on the pit stops. And I don't know. There was really no strategy involved. If I'm being honest, I didn't think this one through, and it just kind of worked out. I guess I could do that more often.
Well, it definitely paid off. I know you're usually the right side tire guy. I was actually really surprised to see you taking fuel only there at the end, but you're right. It did pay off. Pretty much paid off. Second place finish, certainly nothing to be ashamed of. Next week, though, we go to Pocono Raceway. Certainly a extremely different racetrack compared to here at Richmond. Relatively flat, 3 distinctly different corners. Like I said it to James in his interview, it's like the oval that races like a road course. How do you feel about your shot next week?
I feel really good. I have a lot of experience at Pocono, mainly because it's my home track. I live about 40 minutes from it. I've run a lot of races there, and it's a good place. It's very well. They don't call it the Tricky Triangle for nothing. Love the tunnel turn. What more can I say? It's a great racetrack, and you get up those high speeds, and then you have the 3 corners. There's nothing more you can ask for from a racetrack.
Certainly looking forward to it, Drew. Again, congratulations on a runner-up finish here at Richmond. Who do you want to shout out to before we let you go?
Yeah, I got to thank Lonestar Racing, Garza Law Firm, Justin Johnson, Mike Fahey, PJ Cox. Got to thank you for putting on the broadcast, and Justin and everybody for helping me manage the series here. And also got to thank all of our great drivers here. It's been a heck of a season. There's not been very many cautions or issues or anything, so pretty blessed with the series, and I'm sad to see it coming down to the end here. But we'll be gearing up for our Cup Series then afterwards.
Getting ready for that penultimate race here in the Howell Graphics Truck Series next week at Pocono. Drew, congratulations again. We wish you the best of luck next week.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Drew Blaze, your runner-up here at Richmond Raceway. Now we're going to talk to the 5 of Chris Watkins, coming home in the 3rd spot here tonight. Chris, it's Steve with HBR TV in the broadcast booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you, bud.
Chris, congratulations. A 3rd place run here. It's where you qualified. It's where you finished. I know you probably would have been happier with a 2nd or even a win, but as long as you don't go backwards, I guess that's kind of like a win, right?
Yeah, I'm trying to catch Drew in points, and I can't catch him when he's finishing in front of me, so I kind of put a damper on things. But it was a great race.
3 words: use the bumper.
Yeah, I think it took me too long to get around Mitchell there. A good run to him. I think I cut him off going into 3 there one time. So, but thank you to him for racing me clean. That was a fun ending there.
Yeah, this place they call it the action track for a reason, but you also had some fast guys up there at the front of the field that really know how to get it done and know how to race each other and do it cleanly for the most part. Obviously, it does happen here and there, but solid racetrack, solid race for you as well, finishing in 3rd spot. Next week, it's Pocono Raceway. Again, the way you approach the races, they vary from track to track, of course, and going from Richmond to Pocono, that's going to be a big adjustment. How do you feel about your shot next week?
I'm not very good at Pocono, to be honest, and that big of a track, it's going to be hard to do a fuel mileage game against anybody, so hopefully I can find some speed through the week and be able to keep up with some of them.
Well, your buddy James Ray thanked you for the paint scheme on his truck, and I'm assuming you painted your own truck. Is that correct?
Yeah, I painted mine and Brant Morrow's, so I think Brant Morrow got hard charger, if I'm not mistaken, so all 3 of us will be on a poster this week, so that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, Brant Morrow finishing 8th, 11 spots gained, so it looks like he would be the hard charger, I believe. Figured that out after the race, but either way, man, I just want to say those paint schemes on all 3 of those trucks, very sharp, looking good here for October, and only a couple of races left. One of them's November, so you might have to get a special paint scheme for that final race.
Yeah, I think I'm going to have to whip out a Texas Ranger paint scheme for mine. So,
there you go.
So we'll see how it goes next week. We got to get the Halloween stuff off there and go for something for November.
Chris Watkins sucking up to the race admins. I see how it is.
Well, I'm from Texas, too, so I got to root for the Rangers.
Fair enough. Again, Chris, congratulations, man. A strong run. Good-looking paint schemes. We wish you the best of luck next week at Pocono. Who do you want to shout out to before we let you get going?
A shout out to you guys for broadcasting, Howell Graphics for sponsoring the league, Lonestar Racing for putting the league on, man. This has been a blast, and just my teammates, James and Brant, this has been awesome to run with you guys this league.
All right, Chris. Well, thanks for talking to us, man. Good luck next week at Pocono.
Thanks, man.
It's Chris Watkins, your 3rd place finisher here at the action track, Richmond Raceway. Let's take a look at our race results. Of course, we talked to our top 3 finishers, James Ray, Drew Blaze, Chris Watkins. 4th place was the pole sitter, Mitchell Howell. 5th place finisher was Brandon Domain. Heath Snyder comes home in the 6th position. 7th goes to Brett Guzik. 8th finisher, Brant Morrow. PJ Cox was 9th. Sean Roberts comes home in the 10th spot. Justin Johnson, speaking of that admin, he finishes 11th. Jared Haynes, 12th. 13th went to Kevin Winker. Chris Klein was 14th. Brian Shepard, 15th. Derek Welch was 16th. Tristan Sykes coming home 17th, 3 laps down. Jarrett Woodard out of this one in the 18th spot, also 3 laps down after an on-track incident. That's your race results here from Richmond Raceway, the Garza Law Firm, Richmond 125. Thank you guys all for tuning in here tonight. If you haven't already done so, check out the stream, like the stream, youtube.com/@HBRTV and the number 1. Also, check us out on the website, hbrtv1.com. We usually put the live links up there. I've been getting better at it, I promise. If you forget how to get to the YouTube, just go hbrtv1.com, click the live tab, and it should take you right to the most recently upcoming race here at HBR TV. Thanks for watching tonight, folks. Join us again next week out at the Tricky Triangle out in Long Pond, Pennsylvania, the Pocono Raceway, for our penultimate race of the Holographics Truck Series. Thanks for watching, everybody. Congratulations to James Ray. Have a good night, guys.